Generally speaking, Aphrodite is the goddess of love, beauty, and procreation. She's a latecomer to the 12 Olympian gods, and she clearly came from the East. The different stories: in one version, she's the daughter of Zeus. There's a second version that she was born from the sea. That's actually what her name means, because Aphros is foam in ancient Greek, and the ancient Greeks thought that she was born off the coast of Cyprus. That was one version. But she's definitely the goddess of love and beauty. This is why she was represented in various ways in large-scale sculptures, on many vase paintings, and lots of sanctuaries where she was venerated in different forms. For centuries, she was represented beautifully dressed, sometimes with a beautiful body shining through her garments. But it was only in the 4th century BC that a very famous Greek sculptor called Praxiteles created the first naked, completely naked version of her, showing Aphrodite leaving the bath. The piece had been commissioned by the people of Kos, this famous Greek island, but the Koans were so shocked when they saw the naked goddess that they didn't want to pay Praxiteles, and she was finally bought by the people in Knidos, a neighboring city. That was a very good idea, because when she was shown in a round temple where you could watch her from all sides, she soon became a massive tourist attraction, as we know from ancient sources. So there was a big scandal about the fact that she was shown naked, but it was a very, very successful idea. The Romans took up that, lots of copies and variants of the Cnidian Venus, and in Roman times she was shown in public parks, private houses, and elsewhere. You could even buy tiny copies for your living room. Actually, not most of them are nude, only some, for specific reasons. The most famous example clearly is Aphrodite, because nakedness shows her paradigmatic beauty. So she looks like what the Greeks thought a beautiful naked woman should look like. Other gods also appear naked. For example, Ares, the god of war, a very powerful, athletic person, is shown naked, but also Hermes, the messenger god, might appear naked like other gods. But most of them were dressed. Some were never shown nude, like Athena, the goddess of wisdom. Obviously, it was not appropriate to show her naked. In general, the Greeks believed that physical beauty also expresses a beautiful mind. So it is also the character which is represented by nudity, so to say. This sounds a bit strange to us, but the Greeks thought it that way, that someone who is beautiful has also a beautiful mind, is also a courageous warrior, a good singer, and a pleasant person. This is why nakedness was important to the Greeks. Beside that, there was also a realistic nudity. Athletes performed completely naked since the 6th century. For example, in the famous Olympic Games, everyone, every runner, every boxer appeared naked there. We think that some of these naked Aphrodites were actually cult statues. We know it for sure of the masterpiece done by Praxiteles, which ended up in Knidos. Such a statue would have been placed in a temple. A temple was a massive structure where just the image of the goddess was shown, the building surrounded by columns, with lavish pediments and other ornaments in a sanctuary. A Greek sanctuary was a site cut out of the profane surrounding by a wall. You entered it through a propylon, a gateway, and you went to the temple out of curiosity to see the cult statue in it. Some of these cult statues clearly were spectacular in size, but also in the way they were made, not always of stone, and even the white stone would have been painted brightly. silver and gold were added, and in some cases colossal statues were constructed up to 12 meters of height, like the famous statue of Athena Parthenos in the Parthenon on the Athenian Acropolis, which was a combination of wood, ivory, glass, silver foil, gold, and other precious materials. So a very spectacular image. You would not just look at the goddess, you would pray to her, and you would bring gifts, so-called votive offerings of every imaginable kind. So a private person would bring a tiny terracotta figurine, or a bronze, or a vessel made of clay or metal, or if a polis, an entire city-state, would dedicate something after a victorious battle, it could also be an entire warship. So from archaeological excavations in Greek sanctuaries, we are very well informed what the ancient Greeks donated to their gods, to ask them for a favor or to thank for something which was given to them. A good wife, for example, a child, or also the success of a major trading undertaking. Everything you could imagine was a reason to dedicate something in a Greek sanctuary. We have thousands of these votive offerings from many sanctuaries, and they give us a very lively idea in which way the Greeks approached their gods, because sometimes these votive offerings have inscriptions telling us who gave it, for what reason, and so on.